At first, my design name is hurt because when I envisioned this organic whole, I see a living, breathing entity where every element of the site contribute to the vitality and harmony of the whole system. The country itself is a living organism, and the roads, the blood vessels connecting the organs and allowing life to flow impeted in these veins. And this shows the typologies of the site and the area planning. The idea was to show the relationship between nature, animals, history, and the human as such as possible without damaging the location ecosystems, and let the visit had a fully view of the vitality of our country. And at first is the yellow one, the interior exhibition areas are the important part of this site, which follow the topological by level. They give the history and the knowledge. Then it's also experience center is the location in the middle, and the greenhouse and the nurses. The area is planned along the office road and minimize the impact on the surrounding environment and allow the visitor to interact with the vegetation in the ESB. Labs and office for integrals. This building reconstruction of the original building and this location are the end of the road where people understand the nature and the culture, and finally to understand the future development. Whole of this part, when planning the site design as organic whole, the connector need to the step by step to understand this ESPS and this area environment. So all of the site is from the past to the now and to the future. Then we can see the set plan. We found that just the important thing is in the outdoor experience, there's two types of these areas given. On the left side is the jungle within the trees, giving the visitor a feeling of the walking in the forest and listen to the birds, give the touch of the trees. And the right hand is the undergrowth trees and provide a view. Touching, smelling, and experience, and they can understand how the ecosystem working, and they also can see the animal, see the like flower, fauna. Except they have the two different areas. Then it's like show the moving line. Yeah, the red line is show the outside the education and the experience areas line. Then is the red line is show how they connecting in the indoor areas. Then the moving lines, and the yellow line to show the traffic road. For this site, the public transport, the main access to this site is only by public transport, and they only have some parking space. They are only available for the people within the disabled and the staff. And show the road in the site. You can see, in addition of the organized office road, all of the road in this site are wooden walkway, which first reduce damage to the soil and the underground, and secondly, the insect and animals on the ground can still travel free to reduce the ecological damage. And we can see the two different. We can see the detail of the road design and the greenhouse design. Then we can see the step by step the indoor education, the experience areas. Let's show the detail of the indoor experience centers. Firstly, in the main entrance, we can is the history experience areas. Then is helping central for the children, for the disabled people, and the 3-1 is storeroom. The 4-1 is booking and reading area to understand to understand the history, and can make people to come down and sit down to deeply to understand these areas, this country. Then we can find the two move line. They then go outside platform. Then they can go up step by step to the rest area. They can to have the good vision of the country for the vegetation for this outside environment. Then is like step by step indoor experience area to understand the history of this country. The five is the multimedia of the ESPs is to listen and understand the ecosystem and environment. They can touch smelling and do a lot of things to understand. Then the step is like multiply of the original people, the culture and history. Then the 80 is like 3D experience areas to deeply understand. The 9 is to multiply of the integrals to understand what they're doing, to understand the development. And the 10 is finally is to conclusion and to show the development of the future. Then they can go outside. This is the platform for the people to sit down to get the vision of the natural environment. They can test the jungle food because this area is selling jungle air food and this toilet. Then they can go outside go outside the experience. As we can see, this is the section A. Each areas are different higher, giving the step-by-step feeling, and the skylight are formed by the level. It allow the natural light in joining and to increase the ventilation. And second, other two buildings with the same design concept are throwing the small gap in the roof, giving the sense of the shadowing in the deep in the density jungles. And you can see the passive ventilation is also increased through the opening. Then is the modeling to show the how it works, how the opening work, and how the gap to give the shadow of this building. And then we can see the greenhouse and the others. This is the main drawing for the entry of the office road. We encourage people to come down, to sit here, to understand what's the nature, what's this country, to talk with friends, talk with family. The first of the design is the minimize of the damage to the location existing environment, and the second design, the concept is come from the structure of the trees, individual house, and the bloody visual. You can see the map show the model shows how the structure work, and the cover will provide a shadow to encourage people to sit and to listen, to understand what's happened. And this one is the office road for this line, and secondly is the planning areas for these areas. Then is like the greenhouse in the middle, because in this area they can get the best sunlight to support the growing plant. After the greenhouse is like ceiling and the stone areas, then still the planning area. It shows how high of the greenhouse and this cover and how its communication inside or outside. And then it shows the material and structure and the passive design for this structure and the whole site. Through the research, I found that the climate of this site is really warm, and the greenhouse only need the insulation in the winter. Therefore, inflatable the PVC materials added in the structure of this greenhouse, which rolled up in the non-winter to let natural light and rain entering naturally, and inflate from the winter, so it can become the insulation to protect the plant. And secondly is the structure of the mantle using the shield to connecting the construction, and maximally that to use the waste wood. So because this connection, it can using the waste wood to maintain. And in this site, waste stones is used in the foundation, and the sandstone with stone is to create a column with the concrete. Finally, we can see the plan and the design of this lab and office. For the entrance. They allow all the people can join in to see the lab, to see the development. So it will have the ramp for disabled people. There is toilet for everyone use, the stone, and the lab for the natural ventilation. And four is like laundry and dining room and public office, private office, and the meeting rooms. All of the roof have the shadow panel, solar panel on this roof, and we have the rainwater connection is provided for the land irrigation. Then this area is also for left for the outdoor the growing. And then we can see the site model to show how it messes, how it's the cover the site, how the typology to work.